We are here today with Dwain and Meg. We are going to do a session with them with their questions. I just want to ask both of you before we get started, is it okay that we have you on our YouTube channel today?
Yes.
Yes.
Awesome. Thank you. Just a few announcements before we get started. If you are someone watching this and you are interested in being a guest, please email me, Heidi at athenaintruth.com, and let me know that you're interested, and we'll put you on our list for a future YouTube session that we're going to do. So let's get started. I think before we came online, we agreed that Dwain was going to start us off with the first question. So go ahead, Dwain, and ask your question to Athena.
Okay, great. I'll try and keep it short, and if you need more information, you can provide it. But I really appreciate you taking the time for this. But as a quick summary, I have great opportunities in front of me right now. As for years of effort and learning, I've recently obtained a funded account to trade in the stock and index and Forex financial markets. However, I sense, and my recent results also confirm, that my energies at present are not fully in alignment with the financial success that I know is possible, regardless of what my efforts or what my positive intentions or what my actions might be. And I believe that my heart's desire for abundance is pure in the sense that I choose to use that for the benefit of my family and extended humanity. You could correct me if you see something differently, but that's what my understanding and belief is. Mm-hmm. And therefore, my first question, I have two questions that I have, maybe three, depending on time, is what belief systems or energies and or blocks, either conscious or subconscious, are holding me back from actual financial abundance? And how do I correct these impediments to my success?
Can we ask you why you made the statement that you believe that you are not in alignment with it or with the desire and what you actually have? What brings you that conclusion?
Well, as an example, I can trade. I follow 5 or 6 different traders. Mm-hmm. They usually get it right between 60 and 70% of the time. It doesn't matter. It seems that of all the trades that I choose, and there's a few dozen a week, mm-hmm. I always choose the ones that are the 30 or 40% that are their losses, and I'm not choosing their wins. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So there's something. I mean, and statistically, it's almost impossible. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unless there's something energetic.
Mm-hmm. We have Robin laughing in the background a little bit because her eldest son has been a trader his entire life. He works from home, and he worked for a larger online trading company in Chicago years ago, and then struck out on his own later. So she's familiar with these types of stories or what it is that you are experiencing. Yeah. And let us tell you something. Many people will think that something in their life is a reason or cause for what's going on. But what we really want to ask you is, when you pick that trade that doesn't go the way that you prefer it to, what does it make you feel like? What's the emotion that comes up within you?
Well, I've learned to actually be quite neutral in trading because I realize
we don't want to hear what you've learned. We want to know what you actually feel, if you let yourself feel.
Well, I feel like a failure.
Yeah, that's what you are. Now we're going to tell you that. We're going to mirror that to you. We ran into some people that know you. And if they were to describe you to us, they would say, the only way I can describe that man is he's a failure. How do you like that description of yourself?
It's not the way I see myself. It's not who I believe I am. It's just my actions seem to lead to that conclusion.
Well, you said if you pick a trade and it goes against you, goes wrong, your feeling is, I'm a failure. Yeah.
Yes.
And so let's take trading out of the example. Let's pretend you've never saw trading. You've never been a trader. And let's go back into your childhood growing up. Do you ever remember feeling like a failure or witnessing someone else fail as you were a child?
I always tried very hard to succeed, and I was always the top academic in my class and the top of everything. My father never acknowledged, but my parents, they just expected that. Yes. Never had any acknowledgement at all. So I never got the accolades of any kind of success, even though I did as best.
So you would never feel successful. You would feel a sense of failure even in success, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would.
Yes, yeah.
And
And
did.
so the universe is using the opportunity of trading to mirror back something when you said, I know I'm not in alignment to it. So imagine that there's this universe and it knows you, it's painted onto your skin. So it has your prosperity already formed, or the energy for money to flow to you, by the way, in any means that it sees satisfying, because it has all of you, not just you as a trader, but it has you in every life that you've ever lived. And so now here's the universe. Imagine this on a day-to-day basis, moment to moment. Let's go moment to moment, coming to you, trying to enter your field with a large sum of money, or however, it might not come through trading. It could, but maybe it comes another way. You have to be open to any way. But this large energetic transfer of the way that something's going to make you feel, that you have culminated, that you formed by your dissatisfaction. Because every time you were dissatisfied, the universe received you in its high vibration of its love for you, unconditional love for you. So it makes an experience that you're going to be satisfied. And so here it is, coming moment to moment, entering your field. And when it gets to your field, it can feel you. It can feel whether you are matched in the love of yourself and what you've chosen to feel in your experience, or whether you're having some judgments, some lower tone emotions, some failure feelings that are of a lower tone that are in you from your childhood, so that no amount of trade, no amount of money that you would ever get, you're never going to be satisfied. Do you know that? Because you are holding this energy of dissatisfaction that you felt from your father that is contained within you, so that you are never going to be satisfied. And so the universe comes every day knocking at your door, trying to flow to you an opportunity for the way that you prefer to feel that it holds for you. But it picks you up. And so what's it doing? You're being called to heal. Did you know that? Every time you pick a wrong trade and you feel like you failed in it, you're getting another opportunity to go back to that little child, that little boy, that one that efforted. Look what you did. The amount of effort, the top of your class, and no recognition at all for that. No consideration. This is the time when you get that call, when you pick that trade that doesn't go well, that you realize it's not about the goddamn trade. It's about you, in what you hold in opposition against yourself, in what you have created. So in every moment, hear this, you have a universe that you have created. Whether you felt good or bad in it matters not. The universe has made something wonderful for you, and it holds it, and it tries to flow it to you. And now you have to become a match to it. You have to become a match to the unconditional love. And you do that by loving yourself in the way you created it. And you created it in trying to be the best, in trying to give more, in efforting in your experience to get your father's recognition, his attention, his love. And he withheld it, and he withheld it, and you worked harder, and you worked harder, and you built more and more and more resistance. But the universe didn't see it that way. It has expanded your universe, made more for you, because you have kept sending that signal. So you've not done it wrong. So you can decide right now, every time I pick a trade that goes against me, instead of moving to dissatisfaction and expanding the negativity and thinking there's an outside cause for my creation, I can call myself to the place that wants to be healed, heal the inside cause, and the outside cause will just fall away. Did you know that the things that are going on in your life, they're not really reality? They are formed by your perceptions, your beliefs, your emotional states that are within you are creating a mirrored reality. The minute you adjust the inner reality and you start to love yourself in the way that you feel, no condemning, no judging, and you start to send out a different reflection to the universe, it will mirror something back to you. Perhaps a winning trade. But don't go getting so stuck on exactly what has to bring you your wealth. Because the universe, again, it has not just you in the life you're living as a trader. It has you in every life that you've ever lived. It has all of your lineage. It has some data that you yourself don't have. And so when it's going to bring a satisfying experience to you in abundance, maybe the trade isn't enough to hold what you have created. Who knows? But by holding that perception, that belief that it has to be that way, again, you're creating some resistance. You need to move to trust. You need to move in allowing. You need to move to surrender, to acceptance, to what you feel, and the love of self in just living and feeling your experience, and make yourself a match to flow. Did we answer your question?
Yes, I certainly understand what you're saying. Um, in a practical step, every time a trade goes, now normally one trade or two trades in a row, no problem. It's when I have 10 trades in a row that I start feeling like a failure. So when I start to feel those negative
You're just
senses.
stretching your threshold of suffering a little bit bigger. That's all you're doing. Yeah.
So,
So here's the thing. We
so
know what you're going to ask us already, so we're just going to answer it for you. So you after 10 losses of trades, you can't control yourself. You've already gone down that pit to hell. You already feel miserable. You feel like a failure. You could do it for 5 or 6 times, but you cannot do it for 10. Yeah.
yep.
So what we want you to do is we want you to recognize, of course, you're going to feel that way. Of course, you're going to feel after the 10th time that kind of suffering. You cannot expect to muscle that out of yourself. You must continue to surrender. Energy or negativity, if you would deem it that way, is like food. If you overeat and you keep eating and you keep eating and you keep eating and you don't eliminate it, eventually you're going to not feel very well. You're going to get sick. It's going to build up inside of your gut. And so it's going to take a while for you to get yourself on a vibratory level that you feel better in. So you must surrender to the feelings that you're having. When you hit the 10th time, what you're always trying to do is you're trying to not feel the way that you feel. The universe, we told you, it's painted on you. Why do you as a human try to not feel what you're feeling? It does you no good. The second you feel, that's gone out to creation. The universe has expanded, and so has your universe. What good does it do you to try to stop feeling something that's already been received and returned on? Let yourself feel it. You're feeling stinky right now. You're feeling like a failure right now. You've had 10 losses in a row. Who the hell wouldn't feel that way? This is the love of self. This is the surrender to the human in the way that it's feeling its experience. You're not trying to say, get rid of that feeling. Do it 15 times next time and before you get mad about it. Are you?
No.
It's about the
No.
love of self. This is what you need to learn. You have not loved yourself in your experience. It's the same thing that you did when you were a child. You worked futilely, didn't you? You kept going harder and harder and you kept getting the same result. And you're doing the same thing in your trading. Why don't you
Mhm.
move to softening? Why don't you move to love, to acceptance? Why don't you move to surrender? Why don't you move to trust and knowing? I know that I'm good at this. I know that I'm going to feel apprehensive because I've had a lot of bad experiences. It's only natural that I would feel like a failure. It's only natural that after 10 times I would be angry and frustrated and that I would believe that what I want doesn't exist. I'm accepting all of that from my human. And in that awakeness, the difference is when you are awake, you have divine presence. Do you know what divine presence is? That's the high vibration of your source. And when you are present in how you feel, it can reach you. You start to get more flow into your field and it starts to help you with those emotions. You as a human are not expected to change what you feel because it's already gone out. It's already created. You are a feeler. You are one that feels. Then you are done. That's all you do. Then you start to observe yourself in what you felt and you invite your divine partner to come in and do what it does, flow through you, start to assure you, start to resonate with you. That's the flow of the universe comes in. It will help you. You will start to release emotion. A human muscling, trying to release emotion, a human being told you did pretty good, you held your emotion for 10 times. That's not what you're expected to do. You're expected to be free. You're expected to feel and to let out every stinking emotion that you have in your authentic state and know that you are being received. When you move to that way of being, I'm observing myself. Yeah, I'm angry. Yeah, I don't like that. Yeah, it's the 10th time. Now I am awake. There's a difference between being asleep and thinking there's an outside cause for your suffering and being awake and allowing yourself to see the inside cause, the deficiency that you felt as a child, you see.
Mhm.
Did we answer the question?
Yes. So if I can recap, just to make sure I understand what steps I need to take, is when I experience a loss to the point where I feel like a failure, I need to acknowledge that feeling. I need to basically, at that point in time, step in and say, Divine, I know that this is
No,
not me.
no. If you had a child and he had a failure in his life, would you say to him, you are a failure and I'm angry at you for it?
No.
No. You would probably say, you've worked really hard, and I know that hard work pays off and that you will get what you deserve. And I want you to feel as better as you can, as soon as you can. Yeah. Do you feel the love in that?
Yes, definitely.
So we are to love ourselves in those emotions because when we love ourselves in those feelings, we become likened to our source, which emanates in unconditional love. And then it flows the experiences right to you in that match. But if you move to any type of condemning, any type of judgment, any type of outside blame for how you feel, the universe will expand your negativity. You will have more losses to make you feel more that way, because it will never agree that you are not the creator of your experience, because you are. You are 100% the creator by how you feel. How you are feeling is what is bringing in the experiences in a mirrored reflection from the universe. And so every time you feel something that doesn't feel good, it is not about something going on outside of you. It is about a place on your timeline where you still stand that is creative in your experience, that's influencing your experience. And so when you go to it and you accept it, just like you would for your own child, I see what you're going through, compassion, understanding. It's only understandable that you would feel that way. I don't blame you for being upset. You've worked very hard. I know and I trust that you will come into connection with what it is that you are wanting. I don't need to be the governor or the controller of how it comes or when it comes. I know that the universe has my back. I know that I am received in moment to moment in creation, that I'm a moment to moment creator. I have never built up any pool of negativity. I am a moment to moment creator. I may have built up some habitual thinking and feelings that over and over I keep sending out. So then I'm getting mirrors of those over and over, but I don't have to worry about a big pool of negativity around me. That doesn't exist. There's nobody punishing you. There's no bad things coming by all the bad things you've thought. It's because people continuously and perpetually think the same way over and over again, you see.
Enforcing it.
Yeah, enforcing it. Yes. The moment you choose, I love myself, I believe in myself, I can get through this, I will receive what I have coming. The moment you head in that direction, the universe is already starting to open to you. The negativity is already moving out of your field. And the moment that you go back to it, that you love yourself in it, the universe is still opening to you. But the moment you believe that that thing caused it, you will expand your negativity and suffer. So suffering is optional.
Okay. Thank you. That makes a lot of sense.
Thank you, Dwayne. We're going to go to Meg. Meg, if you want to unmute and ask your question to Athena.
For this opportunity. I have been a spiritual seeker for a very long time, and I can really resonate with Robin's story. But I'm not able to share my passion outside of my immediate family because I have a very serious job that I love. But it is with the federal government, and it has been a very challenging couple of months, as I'm sure that you've seen in the news. I've been very eager to expand my psychic abilities, channeling abilities, and move into another phase of my life where I can empower others and help other spiritual seekers. But I feel like something is in the way, and I'm not sure what that is.
So we'll take you down memory lane, just like we did Dwayne. Yeah. So when you think about your job and how you would be received in it because of the love for spirituality and some of the interests that you have that pertain to it, what's the feeling that you feel in being outed for that or being known for that? What does that bring up with you in the emotional feeling when you think about that?
There's a little bit of fear. I feel like there's a boundary. In my job, I can do coaching, which I love, and that's still in the professional realm. But I can't necessarily talk about channeling, and talk about how I listen to podcasts about metaphysical and psychic abilities, or tarot cards or things like that, astrology that I love.
So let yourself feel what it would feel like if that were found out and you actually did that. You actually let that out of the bag. What would be the emotion that you would feel?
I think some shame and embarrassment. I don't think I would be taken seriously.
Yeah, so here we go. Yeah. So let's take your job out of the picture. You've never worked a day in your life. And let's go back to your childhood and or even your adolescence growing up. Do you remember being shamed, being embarrassed, being not taken seriously in your life?
A lot,
Yeah, so you would get
very
a
much.
job mirrored to you from the universe that would reinforce that would use that opportunity to show you what's denying its flow to you, wouldn't you? So you would believe in an outside cause. You would believe that I have a job that if I show who I am to it, I would be not taken seriously. I would be humiliated, shamed, embarrassed. all of those things, but you already have all those things. So you can leave that job tomorrow. We can guarantee you any job you're going to take is going to bring you the same result because the inside cause is the one that is bringing the experience to you. It's not the job bringing the shame, the embarrassment, and the humiliation. It's the inside emotions that brought the job to you that you have. What do you think of that?
Is that what's blocking me from growing in my
Well,
psychic abilities?
the job isn't blocking you. You're blocking yourself. Imagine now this high source, energy source, this God, universe, call it what you will, is butted up against everyone. It's never denying flow to anyone, even the people that you would think don't deserve it. It's there. And so now it would be, are they resonating with it? Are they vibrating at the frequency of love of themselves so that they match me in my unconditional love? That's all that's going on. And so when you have the potential to feel humiliated, shamed, blamed, and all of the things that you mentioned, the universe moment to moment is trying to enter your field. It's already created the opportunity for you to work in the spiritual realm. It's already created a work environment where you don't give a hoot in hell what someone thinks about you. All of that exists because you are a creator. You are all gods in moment to moment, thinking and feeling, creating. It's there, done. The moment that you feel you lack something, you have something. And so now it's a matter of, how do I get it? Well, you're not going to get it by thinking that your job is the reason you're not getting it. You're going to expand what's causing you to not get it, which is your fear of humiliation, shame, blame. And every time you have an experience where you feel those emotions, you have to move yourself to them rather than trying to shut them down, rather than blaming something outside of yourself and expanding them, getting more of experiences that make you feel those ways. The universe will never give up on you. We think it's remarkable. It will continue to bombard you with experiences that will make you feel these ways that you have in you. And so if you were to look at yourself and ask yourself, and you have this messenger inside of you, and when you say to yourself, where is my money? Where is my job? Where is my spouse? Do you know what the human is going to do? It's going to give you, oh, well, you're not pretty enough. You're not educated. You're not living in the right area. It's going to give you every perception and belief that you're holding that's creating in your experience. And you're going to think it's true, but it's not true. It's a chosen reality. You're choosing it. You're choosing something that you experienced as a child in the way that you felt, and you're applying it. It's held in your energy centers. It's still going out to the universe. And so it can't enter you with the high vibrational experience that you want. You can't get it that way. Yes, it's blocking you spiritually. Absolutely. Because you're not a match to it. Not that you're not worthy of it, because it was created the moment you wanted it. Everybody's worthy of whatever they want. But you must become a match to it. So you must move to the acceptance and surrender to the loving parts of yourself that have created this shame, this embarrassment, this worry of being perceived in a certain way or not taken seriously. And you've got to understand why you felt that way. You didn't live your experience wrong. You were living there as a child. You had a reason for sending out those emotions. And the reason was you wanted to create a reality that you preferred, and you did. But the problem is you started to believe and attach to the negativity and to the feelings of the human tool. Human tool is not the eternal being that you are, and it is not going to continue on. It's going to die and fall away. Everybody knows that. So what sense does it make to think I am shameful? I am humiliated. I am going to be embarrassed. I am not going to be taken seriously. Here's this stupid tool, you, the human, controlling you like a puppet because you are choosing to hold emotions that cause the universe to yield to you things that the puppet believes. You can decide to love yourself in those feelings because you should love them, because those feelings have made something of you that's grand, that you're going to love when you get it, that is exactly a fit to you. And so there's no reason to ever think that you didn't like yourself in those ways. There's no way to condemn or to judge or to attach a negativity to that way of feeling. Every feeling is allowed. So now you just, when you feel in work that, let it come up inside of you. We're not telling you to run out and take a megaphone and tell everybody what you're thinking and doing, but you could decide that every time you think about spirituality or you have a desire to share it with someone at work, that you go inside of yourself and ask yourself how you feel about that. And then when you get the emotion, you move. You move to the, you know what happens when you feel a negativity? You people leave the present moment. Did you know that? This happens to you when you're trading. When you get a negative result on the trading screen, you immediately leave the present moment and you go to the suffering moment where you're creating from. Those all exist. Every moment you've ever lived is standing there, still exists. And so the traumatized moments, the timelines that are being still creative in your experience, the divinity part of you will keep showing those to you because it wants to flow what you want. It loves you, it wants to give you what you want, what you'll be satisfied with. And so you have an opportunity every time you have a worry, go and heal it, accept it. I understand why I feel that way. I can remember feeling that as a child. I had every right to send that signal and that emotion. I don't have to hold on to it, but if I want to, if my human doesn't want to let it go, I'm not going to argue with it. I'm awake, aren't I now? All of a sudden, I'm observing myself in my negativity and I'm allowing flow to reach me. I'm not unconscious thinking it's about my job. These people are going to condemn me. They're not going to like me. They're going to not take me seriously, expand negativity. No, I'm going to look at what comes to me, what the human is offering me. It's offering me what it's holding that's denying me what the universe is holding, and I'm going to accept it. I'm going to observe it. I'm going to look at what is that human feeling that is creating me to be denied the flow of the experiences I want. And as I start to observe it and become awake and aware, and I stop blaming the outside cause, I'm looking away from that outside cause, I start to shrink those emotions and they start to dissipate out of my field. Your energy centers, your chakras, each one is representative of an area of your life. Each one has a vibratory level, a spin to it, a speed to it. So any area of your life we can go to. It's what we do in Kundalini activations online. Any area of your life where you are not satisfied, we've got negativity contained in that energy center that's emanating out, that's bringing an experience in. That's what's going on. And so we teach people to observe themselves and to understand where that emotion originated and to accept it and to love it and know that it has created something better because of it. And that way we peel those layers off one at a time and decrease the negativity that a human is holding and increase the light energy that can reach that chakra. What happens when more light reaches the energy center? It starts to vibrate higher frequency. Starts to spin faster. More and more light is allowed in. It's always there. It wasn't being allowed in. Now it's being allowed in. It starts to pump, spin faster, faster, drawing in more and more energy. Your manifestation speed speeds up. Did you know that? As your frequency increases. And so I can do this in every area of my life. I'm a light being. I can invite light into myself just by focusing on it. I can imagine each energy center opening to my command. I can actually direct, pull light energy into each one of my energy centers, speed up the function or the spin of them in that rapid vibration. Guess what? Negativity can't exist. It just gets spit right out like dirt coming off of a tire. That's what actually happens. So as a human contains a lot of negativity, the field slows down. The energy centers start going slower, laggier, slower. Divine energy can't get in, stagnant. And eventually certain areas that stop spinning completely become diseased because there's no vibrancy, there's no light, there's no health. All of the wealth, all of the love, all of the things that you want to get would flow right to you through that field, through those energy centers. And so we just wanted to give you that analysis or understanding. There's no outside cause. Your job has nothing to do with your feelings of shame, of embarrassment, of having to hide. Those are your feelings. The job is just a representation. That was a long way around, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Would it be possible to do a small activation for us, or is that too much to ask in this setting?
We have called upon the one who does the transfer of light language because it has a great stimulation or a push of energy to your chakras. It's what we actually do in activations in each one of the energy centers. It is with great pleasure that we join you with this influence, with this energy. It is like being plugged into direct Wi-Fi rather than receiving it through the air, you see. Light language with its power with its ability to unlock and open up things that a human has contained within them from one lifetime to the next, can have a great influence over your vibration or the allowing of light entering into it. We are glad that you were brave enough to ask, that we are able to offer you this transmission. He's wondering if he's getting it too. Anyone who stands in the presence of light language is having an opportunity for an activation or a moving out of energy of a lower tone. There's a remembrance or a familiarity that a human is overwhelmed with oftentimes when they are in the exchange with this type of communication. The most important element for your spiritual evolution is the belief and trust in yourself and the knowingness of who you are, what you are, and why you are here. You're here to claim yourselves. You're here to believe in yourselves. You're here to open yourselves. There's nothing bigger than you, nothing better than you. This one here is not bigger or better or doing anything that is higher or known to be of a higher value. Everything that you are all doing is sacred. Your work, your exchanges, your relationships, all of it. Can you give yourself credit for those things? Can you love yourself in the energy, in the contribution to the expansion of the universe of which all of you are doing? All of you are channelers. All of you are consciousness that is flowing through a human tool. All this one did is recognize it. Can you recognize it?
And I would just like to add for Dwain and Meg, from my own personal journey and experience, don't get let down if you have a good couple of weeks and things start to move in a good direction and then you kind of have a back turn. It doesn't have to be that way. Everybody can create their own way of moving forward, but oftentimes because there are layers to these wounds and these imprints, sometimes they circle back through, and it doesn't mean that you guys aren't doing something right. Just try to stay with what Athena has told you and keep reaffirming and redoing, and eventually the day will come where you don't backstep, that you just keep moving forward.
That is a valuable contribution, Heidi, and very true, because we want you to look at anything that you would call a backslide or something that's going in not a direction that you are preferring as a call to heal. You are hearing the term, the peeling of an onion or the gradual unfolding. Spirituality, we have described it like puberty. Yeah, you never knew when you were becoming a man, or probably you a woman. There was this natural evolution, this gradual change that came over you a little bit at a time, where all of a sudden there was this realization that you were different, that you had matured, and you had changed from a boy to a man and from a girl to a woman. And we would say that the evolution of a human soul is the same way. The spiritual evolution, it's a gradual peeling away of many layers from many lifetimes, even of negativity that will be revealed as you lift off one layer at a time. And it will, as Heidi said, it doesn't have to be a period of suffering. When we do activations with people in groups, what we explain to them is the dark night of the soul is an optional thing. It's not something that is a necessary thing. What happens is in an activation or when Kundalini becomes active in a human, its main goal is to reveal to them what we're revealing to you. What is it that's holding me in a place of suffering, of what I don't prefer in my experience? And it's going to reveal that to you. One experience after another, in the way that it makes you feel, is going to come to you once you release that energy. And you are to move to compassion. You're to move to love, to acceptance, to gratitude, even for seeing these things that have been preventing you from getting the lives that you want. When you accept in that way, in gratitude and appreciation, the energy moves very quickly out of the field and the transformation happens very fast. Oftentimes, what happens in a human in a dark night of the soul or in a period of suffering is they move to condemning, they move to judging, they move to not liking themselves in their experience, they move to being downtrodden by the experience, they start blaming an outside cause. But you have to understand that even in puberty, it is a very natural thing, and in the rise in consciousness of a human, there's a ping-ponging effect. There's a coming out of third density, which is the three lower energy energy centers, starting to come up into the heart center, which is more connected to the upper spiritual centers, there's a little bobble. There's a little bit of, oh, this feels really good, and then a slam back down into what doesn't feel so good. But eventually you will make it through. Eventually, if you keep holding that position, you eventually expand. Let us tell you what happens at the expansion of consciousness. This is why we want to explain to you, don't work on yourself, don't effort, don't try to make yourself feel different than you are, and don't regret anything that you're doing, because you're not doing it. You are an experiential tool that's living life. But the divinity part of you, as you allow it to flow through you by your observation, by your being awake, and by you being aware that you are creating good things, whether you feel good or bad, you will gradually lift in your consciousness, because some of that light energy will start to reach you. As your consciousness starts to rise, guess what? All the old crappy emotions that you used to pick, that you used to feel, that were automatic, are no longer there. In a rise of consciousness, you rise to the level of which your source is a part of, where there's happiness, joy, exuberance, hope, expectation. All of the upper energy type emotions reside at a higher level of consciousness. And how to get there is by observing yourself in the level of consciousness that you are, with no judgment and condemnation. If you keep moving to judgment and condemnation, you're going to stay where you are, you see.
All right. Well, I think that's a good place for us to end things. Thank you so much to Meg and Dwain for being part of the program today. If you are someone that's interested, like I think I mentioned earlier, send me an email, Heidi@AthenaInTruth.com, and we can get you on our guest list. Also, we have a Kundalini group activation. The next open class is May 15th. If you're interested, you can go to our website at AthenaInTruth.com and learn more about that. Also, if you like this, please like us on YouTube if you're enjoying our videos. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you both for coming.
Thank you, Heidi.
I hope what
Thank
you
you so
came
much.
for. And it was really my pleasure to have this exchange with you. If you wanted to subscribe below, we would love to have anyone as a subscriber that's listening. Please check out the websites. I do lots of private sessions. I do Kundalini activations. I have a book out called Choose Your Universe that
Have it right here.
we are enjoying. And once again, I thank you so much for joining the show today.
Thank you.